Hi everyone, my name is Fuming and this is my thesis project called Balancescape, a humane virtual workspace. I found myself motivated by topics around people's mental health and their inner self. I like to design things that can facilitate people to care more about their mental states and address their personal needs as individuals. My landing point for this broad topic around humans' mental health is a humane virtual workspace. I think this is one of the aspects that has changed drastically since COVID and creates a lot of negative influence on people's mental health. And even after COVID, it is highly likely that future workspace will be a hybrid one, and therefore it's important to think about how to build a more healthy and humane virtual workspace. In the following presentation, I'm going to go through 3 sections: my last micro-thesis in fall, some early prototypes, and my final prototype. My thesis originates from the last micro-thesis I did in fall. In the micro-thesis, I did a project on virtual commute that aims to bring back the normal commute time we used to have, encourage people to go outside and get prepared for work. Using my micro-thesis as a starting point, I started to explore other opportunities for a virtual workspace. From my interviews, I found out that one of the problems with remote working is that people tend to work overtime and focus on work for too long. Employers would send workers emails after regular working hours and require them to be online all the time so that they can make sure the workers are actively working. This results in lack of normal breaks. We also lose the transition moments that we used to have as refreshing time, such as coffee breaks, etc. There are other insights derived from my interviews. For example, people feel lonely working by themselves at home and lose the opportunity to socialize with other co-workers. However, some people also claim that they prefer not to socialize. Therefore, it's important to have tailored solutions for both sides. Since people are working virtually, maybe it's also possible for them to freely decide working hours that fit their own schedule. These are some rough prototypes to showcase some of my ideas. There will be surveys that workers can fill out to help the company and their coworkers know them as individuals. They can also freely decide how many days and hours they like to work per week, as long as they fulfill the 40 hours requirement. Here's a very early stage iteration of the interface. On the 2D layout, there are individual working stations, meeting room, coffee lounge, pet room, etc. The idea is that when people want to move on the map, the avatar will actually take time to move from one place to another, so that people get back their transition time. The example showing here is someone going to the coffee lounge to take a coffee break, and another coworker decides to join her and have a casual talk. After midterm, I set up metrics for myself to guide my future design. To decide on the visual style and also see what our existing products offering, I've done a lot of research and here's a showcase of some examples. I've also reached out to John Moraine, the founder of VV Party, one of the examples of the interactive teleconferencing tool. Through the interview, I was inspired by John to think about ways to incorporate the virtual commute into my final project. After learning from my research and interviews, I did a few rounds of explorations on different visual styles. I also made a mood board to help me visualize the aesthetics I was imagining. I realized I want something greenish, vibrant, fun, and alive. And here's my final prototype. I think balance is a critical term to my thesis. The work I did was to find balance between work and personal life, allow employees to have breaks and transition moments. It's also about defining the boundaries between work and life. I used the river to divide the space into 2 sections. The left side is for independent working stations and the right-hand side is for collaborative work. You can arrange a casual meeting around a campfire. There are also lounging areas where people can take coffee breaks. These rooms represent meeting rooms. Above each avatar, there's a name tag showing their availability and also whether they're in a virtual or physical office. The notification board is a summary of everyone's status. The isolated island here is a place for avatars to move to when the employees want to go outside and take a break, such as walk their dogs. I add the spatial audio so that there's the sound of river flowing. You can choose to sit next to the river if you like the sound. Or you can walk away to have a quiet working space. When you walk by passing people, you can hear them talking as well, just like you would do in an office. I also add the timeline to indicate time passing. This is David's schedule for the day. As time passing by and reach the time for his break, there will be notification. Then sleep mode will be started in 120 seconds. You also have the option to end your break early, but it's not recommended. You still can get back to your break if you decide to. There will also be notifications saying your break is about to end. When it's almost the time to end the day, the computer will notify you to log you off. This is the showcase of a coffee break. I'm drinking coffee and then I see Mengwen is in the lounging area, so I walk up to her and we have a chat. Workers can customize their working hours in a 24 hours notice. And will have the chance to adjust their schedule every week. This is showing how the notification board will inform everyone in the office about each other's status. If I want to go outside and have some fresh air, I would then go to the island. My status will automatically change to break. I can also see where is the person in the real world, and if we are close to each other, we can maybe schedule a meetup. Looking back to my metrics, I think I'm happy with what I've accomplished, but clearly there are places for improvements and future considerations. According to my self-critique, I've come up with some improvements I would make down the road. The future workspace would probably be a hybrid one. Therefore, it's also worth thinking about how does the two work together. This is a showcase of someone in a virtual space having a coffee chat with a coworker in a physical office. John Moran suggests me to use the island as a starting point for all avatars. Workers can set different speed for their avatars to go across the bridge and maybe play their Spotify list. Meanwhile, they can get ready for their day. Thanks to Scott and Hugo giving me a great suggestion on ways to inform the workers to take breaks. Maybe the landscape will tilt if the worker overwork and maybe even slide off the ground to stop him or her from working. I'm happy to know more future potentials. That's all. Thank you for listening.